What's the decision in terms of going to these crazy events?
So, like this year, I kind of want to, like, if an opportunity comes up in beach volleyball, I'm just going to say yes. And so, like, the first one of that came in February when I was living with Eric Zahn. He calls me, he's like, hey, dude, like, we have, we can go to Italy and Austria to play snow volleyball. And I was like, yes.
Worth it.
Yeah, we'll go do that. So, like, every time an opportunity came up, it didn't matter how, like, inconvenient it was or whatever. Like, it's super inconvenient to go from China to Israel to Doha. But I was like, why else would I ever do that?
Yeah.
Like, this sport that gets to take you to all these cool places.
I'm out here in Hermosa Beach. It's my first day back since playing in Bonaire, where I ended up getting bronze with Kyle Friend, but also came away with a concussion. So I've been sitting out these last 2 weeks, and I talked about the concussion on SANDCAST yesterday.
Kyle Friend and I were like taking a little tour around the island on these mopeds, and I was like still kind of figuring out like how much you needed to turn it to like actually get it to turn. I was taking a turn a little loopy, and a car was coming around the other way, and I was like, moved a little bit more and it wasn't responding, then I moved a little bit more and it wasn't responding, and then like I just yanked it, and then so it turned really sharp to the right, and I fell over top of it and fell head first. I had a helmet on, so I would have been like pretty dinged up if I didn't have a helmet.
So that happened, and now I'm back, and on my first day back, of course, I schedule 5 hours of practices per usual. I'm out here an hour early before our P1440 practice at Hermosa Beach. I got Jake Urusha and Adam Roberts here. We're gonna do a little serve and pass, and then we got 2 hours of 1440, and then I'm doing 2 hours playing with Jess Gaffney against Sarah Sponsel and Kelly Clay. So getting all the reps today. It's time to get ready for China. We got coming back after 2 weeks off, going straight to 5 hours is not the smartest move. Sarah and Kelly, it was an awesome practice, super fun, a lot of good reps, and the good thing about being on a women's net was that I wasn't like max jumping or anything, so it was just a lot of good passing and setting, which is what I needed, and they balled out. I think that they're super fun to watch. They're crazy talented. She was great, so it's just a fun day of practice. Good to be back on the sand, and now I need some food. For practice number 2, me and Mikey looking pretty good. So Evie Matthews is a big proponent of kind of running sort of not the weird plays or the trick plays, but just different ones and moving it around, because teams are so good that a lot of times especially with the lefty, with me, we work a lot on optioning, where I like, Mike to get me on an option, where I like to get him on an option. We ran a lot of kind of different plays to see what we could feel out, because Mike and I both set well enough where a straight up and down ball isn't too complicated to figure out. So really just kind of dialing in a little bit of everything at this point, and practice went pretty well. We ran some good plays against Bill and Ty, ran some not so good plays, but at this point, nothing can really go wrong in practice as long as you're trying stuff and figuring out, one, what does work, and almost more importantly, what doesn't work, so we don't do it in China against Russia or Turkey or whoever we're playing in the first round. So progress was made today.
Oh, buddy! Hey, cut him. Oh, man. Yes, Mike. Hey, that's good all around.
It's Monday, October something. I have no idea what day it is at this point in the season, but it's Monday. We have a couple days left before we leave for China. I'm currently in downtown LA. It's like 8 in the morning. I got to pick up my visa. Got a visa, my first ever for China. Got my visa, first ever right there. How about that? So now that everything's figured out, flights are booked, visa's good, it's just time to get after it until we leave on. It's my last night in the US for a couple weeks here. I've done pretty much everything that I could have done at this point. I mean, I've gotten out as much as I can with Mike. When Mike couldn't go, I trained with Jake Urusha in the P1440 program. When neither of them couldn't go, I trained with Timmy Brewster, who I'm playing Israel with after China. So at this point, the preparation's over. Tomorrow morning, we have a country quota for the Qinzhou Mall 4-star against Bill Kalinsky and John Hyden in the morning. Winner plays into Ryan Daugherty and Miles Evans. So it's actually a perfect tune-up before we leave for China to get really good competition. Whether we win or lose, it's great training. So for now, I just got to fill this bad boy up here. It's been like a little bit since I went on a trip. Got to pick out some board shorts, which I may actually have to just choose some of Tri's board shorts, because he gave some to me, and they're the only ones I have with names on them. And the FIVB rule is that if you are in main draw, you need shorts with your names on them. So I may be representing Tri Bourne out there in China and Israel. So at this point, got about a 28-hour travel day to China on Friday night. And after that, now's the fun part. Now we just get to compete. Let's go.
Cut! Mike!